Ready? All right, 6:33. We're gonna get this meeting going. We got a lot to cover, a lot of great things to go over. And first, we'll start out with a moment of silence before we get started. Okay. All right. First thing we'll get started. All righty. Um, Input from the community. Miss Loopy. If you're going to talk, make sure you talk nice and loud.
Um,
You got
okay,
3 minutes.
first of all, if you're living Kress, if you notice, once you leave Kress, it's the state and the county. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put on this hand. Okay. Anyway, and I saw that the city truck and the workers were cleaning and cutting the tree limbs around there as you're leaving Kress right there. And now my question is, who paid the city workers? Did they get paid by the county, the state, or whom, or the city?
Ma'am, you got 3 minutes to talk. You can talk whatever you want for 3 minutes. You cannot go back.
Okay, well, that's one of my questions, okay? And and that part to that is why can't they clean the alleys around the trash? Because there's stuff out there. And what was the last time the city has had an audit done? I know before years, we used to have it every year, we'd have an audit done, but I don't know lately how long it's been. And it needs to be done. And also fix, city roads are bad, the cracks, the holes, they need to be patched again. And that's it for me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. I can't read the name, but I do believe it's Sam.
Yes, I gave all the city council members, I went around, I gave them all the paper, and I got them signed. I got my sign and signature. So here y'all go, and I would like those two be on record that they're signing, everybody can see them. Thank you.
Okay, we got one more. David. Now, David, this don't pertain to the city, right?
Yeah.
Because we'll go over that.
This will be, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you because it's got a document I want you to look at. It's about the sign.
Wonderful. Oh, that's totally different. Let's talk about that. Give you 3 minutes on that sign.
Look in that folder, the guys, and there's a couple of pictures about the, let me have that.
Yep, go ahead, get it started.
Open that up and you see where the one has the grass on it, says Kress.
Sorry. You don't see that.
One has, yeah, that one right there, Kelly. Pull that out. And you can pull the one out below it. I've talked to Johnny and I've talked to Empira and Cast about if you recognize this area, that is the old used boys manure spreader truck down here on the hill. And I've been wanting to have Kress, Texas sign put down there as people are coming through. And not just Kress, the Texas part, because people they like that Texas part when they're coming back out. They want to show it to all the relatives. But that's those letters. I've got a guy in Decatur. He has a CNC machine that'll automatically cut those out. 44 inches is the tallest he can do. And so for those 10 letters would be like $65 a piece. And I'm really thinking I'd rather the REFF be smaller case. And the same way with Texas be a smaller case. I don't know, we can talk about that. But it's $650, and I talked to Johnny about it. I don't want it to be something that's maintenance. I'm not the guy that wants to go over there and weed eat every other week. I want to put it in there. You can see it from the interstate, and no work to anybody. You know, if a Kress group wanted to come in and put flyers and they wanted to maintain flyers in front of it, I'm fine with that. And then the city of Kress can leave that up as long as they would like. But I told Johnny, I said, it'd be nice if we had a place on the north side to do something similar. But Tracy doesn't mind putting that down there. You know, that's not, you won't own the property. you'll own the sign. So anyway, it's just something I want y'all to look at. It's something that's on the back burner for me for a long time.
Is that your property?
It's
Whose
Tracy's,
property?
Tracy's property. yeah.
Tracy's property?
You see that? You see when you take the exit,
Comment, guys.
you take the exit, you'll see that truck, and I like to have these letters to where if you take the exit or even if you don't, it would be not a, it doesn't say welcome. I don't want that many letters out there. But anyway, something to think about. Let me know. You may know somebody else got a CNC machine. I bet the schools will not go anywhere near 44 inches. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Okay. That'll wrap it up for statements. Okay, next thing we'll do a quick roll call. I believe we got Kelly here. Got Dane, Sarah, Glenda. Alrighty. We are missing Miss Busky. She is not available today. She has something she is taking care of. So other than that, we'll start our consent agenda. Everybody's got the minutes. Anybody have any questions on the minutes? It'll be minutes for both the work session and for the regular city council meeting from August 25th and July 15th. Do I got a motion to approve the minutes as written? Got a motion? Do I got a second?
I second.
Got a second? All in favor to approve the minutes as written? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. All right, we'll move forward. All right, now we have a presentation from the fire department. Now we'll get next to your more of your next part of your packet, sir. Yeah, I'm really looking at
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Is it working? Okay, real quick before I do the presentation, for our runs for July and August, 5 minor MBAs, 2 medicals, 2 highway grass fires. Our fuel expense was $272.20. And I just got this email from TCUQ. I'm going to give you an update essentially over our new building, is what the folder is all about. Got this, I called TCUQ Monday, trying to get an update on pulling those tanks. So those tanks is what's really holding us up. And this email I got, it doesn't really tell me when that date is, but they get their funding for that September 1st. So then they've got to lay that funding out, get the contractors, but they are going to do it. And y'all can, hey, I just have this one copy. Y'all can look at it. Oh, you already gave it? Can you have my copy? Okay, so let's go to the folder real quick. Let's look on the left side. You'll see this document. Right, find that one. Now, as you look at that, the building would be turned this way. This would be on the north side. Yeah, and I've got that underneath this other one. So if you look at the one below that, this is an estimate. Look at the document below that little map. And this guy was nice enough to just get me an estimate so we have some kind of general idea of what it would cost.
Guys, I need to make sure everybody understands that an estimate is nothing official, nor can we even address or talk about, that was provided with, it has to go out to a bid, and anything over $50,000, so don't reflect too much on that. Let's go ahead and talk about
I needed something for us to have a goal for that particular number. And I think that, and what I wanted to show you is this 70 by 100, estimated of somewhere around 250,000 for that. And the little addition would probably be around another 20. So you're looking at 270, 275, somewhere in there. And that's what I needed. But that is nothing interior. What that is that's the building. Garage doors, there will be 6 garage doors. There will be the walk-through doors and it's blown in insulation, and that's it. But I've got all these guys and
Both sell or open sell?
Huh?
Both or open
I
sell?
don't know that answer. I don't know if that says that on there or
We've got a
not.
long way to go when we talk about that.
But yeah,
There's no on what the size we're looking at.
so, and honestly, I don't see any reason to not do the little addition on the front. That's our office area. And probably all well know that when you're doing something, now's the time to do it. If you come back, the cost would be double. And so 270 includes that office. That front part's the office. And then the part below it, this is a classroom. It's a city council wanted to have some of their meetings in that area. You could do that because we've got a kitchen with bathrooms, kitchen area, and then a mechanical room in the back. But probably all of this walls and all that's going to take some time. I just need my trucks in the house. We've got 3 trucks sitting outside still, and I don't like them sitting outside. And we're approaching winter time. Johnny got the garage door operating in the south bay. We don't have any electricity over there yet, but it's chained so you can pull it up. Any questions about the building layout? That's cement floor, walls, insulation doors, essentially is all it is. But what is what? The steps will be an eventual to where you could have a storage area over this kitchen area, over the top. That would come when we build the walls for the classroom, all of that. That would be down the road as well to where you have storage up there. There's a drain down the center of where the bays will be. And I want to scoot this building a little bit to the north side of our lot to leave room if down the road you want to add another bay. You could add another bay. And we got plenty of room there. Any other questions about the map or the layout? Or the what is?
You said you wanted to move it north, but I don't think there's any markers over there now.
No, there's no markers over there now, but I measured it, and it appears that in any direction with this size building, we have 50 feet. Any direction from the center. So that gives us a lot of leeway.
Are you saying this is the north side?
Let's see. That would be the north right here.
This side?
Yeah, this is the north side. North side. So that'd be actually the office area would be closer to Highway 87. And I should have plans, blueprints any day, probably before I get the tanks pulled. But I feel good. With this letter today, I feel better about our tanks, but they're just they don't move real fast. Any other questions about that?
That's a good question. I'll give it to you to ask that question. I imagine so.
On Highway 87? I would think not. You're talking about a light that would come on and like they did on Quincy Street Fire Station?
Stop.
I don't know. I don't know that answer. But yeah, we can check on that. You could probably have it coming out of 6th Street for there if we had a light there. And I think if I remember right, the one on Quincy Street, One of the guys, got that DOT to put that in at no cost, but, you know, I don't know. That's a good question. Any other questions about that? Well, I'm not quite, I got a couple more.
Those will be, we'll go over the others when it's a budget.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Alrighty, a few things, which some thunder was actually taken, but I do want to report on a few things. I'm really excited that I was able to reach out to TxDOT. Keith and I have a great relationship. I reached out to him and asked for some help with the state to maintain that culvert that goes south of town, because that's the biggest culprit that backs up this entire city. I'm not sure if y'all have noticed over on Dudley. Sure, you probably noticed, but the next place was where we're working on Dudley to clean those culverts out. So when it does flood, it goes out. I had somebody reach out and say, "Hey, why are we working on that out there?" I said, "Thank goodness, because we got permission from the state to do that." State couldn't get out there and get it done, so they did give us permission to keep that culvert clean, so flooding can be less. Not sure if y'all noticed how much less the backup in the city is when it does rain, how much quicker it is draining now, and that is the biggest reason. Continue to watch. I'm not sure if y'all noticed today, the guys have been working out there on the streets in the gutters, getting the gutters cleaned out so water can travel. They've done a lot of road work. Some might not have noticed. If you drive around, you'll notice a lot of the places where they're fixing potholes. A lot of that's happened. Matter of fact, we had to order some more road material, so that's going really well. And I'm really pleased at how hard the guys are working to keep everything moving in the right direction. We got a lot more work to go, but man, if I just had a nickel for everybody that called, reach out to me, Johnny, that looks so good. I've never seen. How long did you say you've never seen it? Is that clear? They say when you drive into town, it is just refreshing, and it feels so good to be able to drive in town and see how much warmer and nicer it is to drive in town. I got that, I don't know how many times. But it isn't for the beautification part of it, although that was a great asset from it. Great fringe benefit. But it's for the flooding that we bring out and head out. Because then we'll have to go a little bit underneath and go out that way to help the water continue to get out of town. There's some other projects working in town that will help the flooding also, coming off the highway, and we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that as far as that goes. Other than that, I want to give a huge shout out. We're going to go over our own budget, but I want to give a huge shout out to our commissioners and our new county judge, Mr. Clausen. They passed no new revenue, which is huge. A no new revenue tax rate, which is huge for our community. You know, taxes just keep going up and up and up and up. The city looks to do it for the third year. We'll go over that. We'll vote on that here in a few minutes. But we continue to pay a lot of taxes, and it's got to stop. We just need better financial responsibility from our leaders to cut some fat and be more responsible with spending. So I've pushed that for us, and we've done very well last year. We look forward to do another good year on that. But other than that, I'm real excited. Now I want to make it very clear to everybody. If you get your property taxes and it went up, let me explain how that happened. We did do no new revenue. A lot of people don't understand how that works from the county when they did no new revenue, but your taxes possibly could go up. If you live in a community like we do, where the school bought some extra houses, that takes those houses off the tax roll. They don't pay taxes. So if we do no new revenue, that means we're going to bring in the same revenue as we did the year before. Okay, this will be the third year we've done this. Now, in order to keep that the same, all these appraisals, in my opinion, is for artificial inflation, but all these appraisals that continue to go up, continue to go up, continue to go up, well, what the county did and what we're poised to do here at the city, no new revenue, meaning we're going to attempt to keep it down and be responsible with the money and spend it wisely. Okay? So if your property went up in value, the city or the county still only bringing in the same amount of money. They can't control what your appraised land went for or home, but they can control how much they're bringing into the community to spend. Okay, so I'm hoping this. I believe the school's having their meeting tonight too. I hope they're responsible also, like the county was. And remember, the taxpayers at some point they need to be able to own the property they bought many years ago. A lot of them worked really hard many years ago. It's time to be able to own it, not keep paying it out to taxes. So with that going forward, we're going to go ahead and do a public hearing on our tax rate. Now, I do want to make it very clear. We have done 2 years of no new tax rate. Okay? By law, this year, a new law came out September 1. If a municipality or any government entity that does not have their audits caught up to date, they can do nothing but a new tax rate. Okay? So, before we have the hearing, just let you know, the city of Kress does not have their audits up to date. I believe we're at 22. So far, we had to do 2017, 2018, 2019, 20, 21. We're working on 22 now. Lots of work. Sorry? Oh, okay. Okay, so we had to start in 2016. 2015 was the last time that was done when others were in the administration. Okay? So we were handed that, so we worked diligently to get those audits caught up. Now, at this point, I've had a lot of people ask, well, can I see them? You cannot see them at this point. There's still an ongoing investigation going on. Therefore, we're not allowed to release any of those audits at this point. But just know, I'm very proud and excited to say we have got them caught up 2016 to working on 2022 at this moment. So we definitely should have them caught up by next year. Okay, does anybody have anything? No, did anybody sign up for? Nobody signed up for the hearing on that. Okay, we'll move forward. Now, does anybody want to speak on the public hearing for a $75 water bill credit? Sam, either one of y'all? Okay. Okay, gotcha. On the okay, nobody? Okay. Okay, so we're going to move forward on that. It's about the $75 water bill credit that we're looking to issue. Okay. Okay. You can't ask, sir. I'm sorry, you cannot ask any questions at this time. Thank you. Okay. If you want to have a talk, we have a talk. But other than that, public hearing on the budget 25-26. Okay. We're moving on. Okay, so the next thing we have is consider to possibly take action for City Ordinance 2025-09-23C for $75 water bill credit. So what I'm proposing, we did have a surplus. And let's just be really honest, for some of the surplus, a lot of it has to do with Tracy. That's a huge, huge number we are not paying out for a full-time city secretary with her skills. That helps us tremendously. Okay, she helps with the city financial stuff. She helps David. She's pretty much right-hand lady, right? And she also partners with Street Dogs to help with that. So not paying that caliber person does leave some money on the table to help the community. And with that, I want to propose some of the money that is left over from the surplus to present as a $75 credit. Now, how you get this credit? It will be a credit on your March's water bill. You had to have service from January 1, okay, January 1 to December 31st, and you have to be of 2025. Okay, you had to have service that full year. Okay, this don't count for people that moved in and out. This is to reward the community members that's moving into our community, making Kress home. Okay, hopefully next year we'll have the funds to be able to do it again next year. But this is for the people that paid in and was here that full year. Now, if you are not caught up on your water bill, if you're behind come December 31st, you will not see a credit come March bill. Okay? It's real simple. If you want to know if you're caught up, there's a portal. You can pull it up. You can look at it. It's on there. You can know if you're caught up. Most people know if they're caught up or not.
And this is for all of the citizens, basically.
All the citizens.
Not just the ones that just moved in.
They don't qualify. They have to have been here January 1 of 2025.
That's what I'm saying. Long-term citizens.
Oh, for sure. No, well, those are the ones we're wanting to reward. If we want people to make Kress their home.
And you have to be caught up on it.
You have to be current on your bill. You can get current. I don't know what the dates fall on, so don't hold me to exact date. But December 31st, if you want to come in and get current on that date, you'll qualify. If you lived here January 1 to December 31st, and you left January 2nd, and you were caught up on your water bill, you'll get that credit. Okay? It has to be a full January to December 31st bill. Okay? And the city council cannot get it. Employees cannot get it. Business cannot get it. It is specifically for the citizens of Kress. I'm glad you brought that up. Residents only. So glad you brought that up. I'm going to make sure ordinance. I'll make sure the ordinance has because I know I put the wording in there for the mayor, the council, and the employees cannot get it, but it's specifically citizens only. Businesses don't get that either. Okay, hopefully they feel the reaping the benefits of the community that is living here and supporting. We just want to give back a little bit to those individuals. Okay. I will say, I kind of messed up. Let me back up. Because we forgot to do our financials. I was so excited to hear from David. I jumped right over our financials. Let's go ahead and stop right there where we're at, and let's just move back real quick to our financials. I'm really excited to talk about this. We still got $8,000 in grant money. Our fire department now has $16,322 in the fire department. Our general fund has $159,625 in it. Our wastewater has $1,539. We do have that CD still, $150,000. Now that CD will pay out roughly $6,000 or $8,000. Paid out in interest just for having that CD. Fire department was paying out like $4,000 something just having that CD for that time. Police training still has $4,560 in it. Our sinking fund now has $70,716 in it. A water tower has $65,780 in it for a total of $476,554. That does not include our CD that we have for our fire department for $95,000 and our savings account for $103,484. So fire department fund billing basically has $198,000. So fantastic job there. Does anybody have any questions in any of the finances? Every single check is there. And continue to look at our page, our website. We continue to, where are we at on uploading for statements on our website, TJ? We're all caught up. So every month they can see, after we approve these, they can see these every month, right? Okay, that's awesome. So we've got from 2017 all the way to 2025 bank statements that you get to view with checks written and what they were for. So I don't think the city of Kress has ever had that much transparency. Would you agree, young lady? All righty. So does anybody have any questions on the bank statements? TJ has done a great job. We've submitted our request for our second transparency star. Now, the transparency program is vigorous. I challenge all of our government entities to go do that. It's basically putting all your business out there for everybody to see, a shining star on all the money's being spent, the accountability, everything for your money. So do I got any questions on financials? Can I get a motion to approve the financials as written? I got a motion, I got a second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, nay? All righty. Approved as submitted. Moving forward. Okay. Okay, so on the $75, okay, so it will read, the City of Crest and General Law Type A municipality is committed to supporting the welfare of its residents by ensuring equitable access to essential water utility services. And then the City Council seeks to ensure fairness by excluding addresses associated with City Council members, the mayor, city employees from eligibility for the credit. And then at that point, I will add businesses or other government entity. Okay, so does anybody have any issues with that? Do they have anything they want to talk about a little bit more on that?
Have a rough idea, Johnny.
If
Bottom line.
roughly about, it could cost potentially about $18,000 if every single person, and not, it won't come to that number, but roughly, when I was just giving an estimate about what it'd be,
Everyone.
every one of
Would
them.
meet the criteria, it does.
Yes. But I think it's something that's well worth the give back to the. Now, so some people are like, well, why don't you just reduce our water bill? We can't. Let me tell you why. We have got upgrades to do. Thankfully, this last year we had a surplus due to how we were financially responsible with the funds. That don't mean after the upgrades and everything we have to do with some communication for our wells still, and some upgrades for our sewer and some other things that we've got to finish to do, doesn't mean we'll have those same funds left over. At some point, Tracy's going to grow up and say she don't want to be the city secretary no more. We're going to have to hire one. So at some point, that is a reality that could happen. We've got to make sure we're ready for that. But we're also willing to give back when we can. Okay? That's why I've pushed this so hard. You know, I made a statement here about 2 years ago. Why don't we give a refund back to our residents of taxes? Somebody challenged that. Oh, are you going to do that with the city? I thought about it. I just couldn't figure out how to figure it out. So after that challenge over a couple of years, that individual made it kind of personal for me to find out how to do that. And this is how we do it. It's legal. It's allowable, and it's a way to do it. Instead of just keep taking from our taxpayers, our good citizens of Kress, it's time to give back a little bit. Anybody have any questions on it? Can I get a motion to approve city ordinance 2025-09-23C to provide an opportunity for a $75 credit if their water bill is paid and maintained from January 1 to December 31st of 2025. Any community residents? I got a motion from Glenda. I got a second from Kelly. I greatly appreciate that support. Can I get a all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Guys, that's fantastic. I'd like to see how many communities have done that for their community. David? You think? All righty, that just gives me goosebumps. That just gives me goosebumps. Tracy, I'm going to make a slight adjustment to the original and that we have discussed, and then we'll get it signed. Yeah, TJ, you're right. Yeah, TJ helps us out a lot. Okay. Sorry. All right, the next order of business is consider and possibly take action on no new revenue ordinance 2025-93 0923A by approving a 38.3890 per 100 tax rate. Okay, let me tell you what our options were. Okay, and I encourage people to pick up a book, log into the internet, learn. There's so much information out there nowadays, and there's so many people that's willing to help. You learn something new that it's incredible. See, I know I was some of these kids' age nowadays. Information highway is just a blessed thing. Proposed tax rate is going to be 0.390, which is a no new revenue tax rate. Our options was no new tax rate or voter approved tax rate of 0.4183 per hundred. That means your taxes are going up. Okay, not only is it going up, the next one is really, really, really crazy. So we have chose to do no new tax rate. This will be the third year if it's approved. Okay, this will be the third year. So they have another part of it called the minius rate. Okay, you can go back 3 years, get all of the years that you chose not to do a new tax rate. Say some catastrophical came up, and we need a well. The well's going to cost us some major money, or the city goes under. Okay, we can go back and say the next year, say, okay, we need those taxes now. We can now, and that number is, remember the other one was 0.38. The diminished tax rate we could ask for is 2.4323. It's hard to even fathom that, but that's what we could move our tax rate to, which would there's some places that's taking advantage of that, and the rates are crazy. What they're tell their community they're going to start paying. Now, when you hear the voter approved tax rate of 0.41, did you vote on anything? No. The government says voter approved tax rate is for municipality is 3.5%. We can go up every year, 3.5%. When does it stop? School can do 2.5% every year. When does it stop? So if the school went up 2.5%, the city goes up 3.5%, and then the county goes up. I don't know if the county can go up. I didn't do that research. Sorry. But say they went up. Man, your taxes are going crazy. At some point, you got to be able to own your property. So it has been proposed to approve a tax rate of 0.3890. We have a city ordinance. Does anybody have a question on our city ordinance approving the 3.90? You know, the answer is yes, but I'd rather not. Okay, so let's say we didn't even have a hearing. Let's say we didn't have this hearing, we didn't have this ordinance. Come end of September, you automatically don't need revenue. This gives us the ability to say this was our idea, like it was last year, like it was the year before that. Okay, we get to put our name on it and say, yes, I agree. We do not need to continue to take money out of Kress's citizens' hands. We approve that it should be no new rate. Now, at this time, you can vote no vote, make it where it's hung, and it has to be no new revenue by force, or you get to say, I agree, we need to quit taking money from the citizens. And that's why I chose to go ahead and have the city ordinance to say, we made that decision. Did that answer your question? Okay. So we got to record our. We must record our notice of public hearing tax rate for the proposal. So do I have a motion to approve the no new tax rate of 0.3890? All right, I got one straight from Kelly. I got a motion. Do I have a second? We're fighting over second. I love it. All right, Sarah seconds it. All in favor, aye. All righty. Any opposed, nay? Fantastic. Good job, guys. Only we had one absent. I will say, it's very sad to say, Miss Lemons is retiring. So, boy, she's been with us a long time. She's done a great job. So it's going to be very sad to see her go. So we can just hope, and I'm sure they will do a great job finding a replacement for her. But whoever that is going to have some shoes to fill. All right, the next thing we have is discuss of paying off a land loan the city of Kress has at Kress National Bank. Guys, this loan is, when it was set up, I'm still confused, and I'll be honest with you, I'm very blunt, and I'll take criticism. Shame on me for not looking deeper into what we were paying for this loan, what it was costing us interest-wise. But we were roughly only paying $3,000 towards it, and it cost us about $800 a year. And we had it on kind of like on a, in part of it's called a farm loan, where you only pay it once a year and then you redo it. So I don't understand it. I don't understand how we got to that. But long story short, we have the funds to pay that off, and it's roughly $24,000. Instead of just paying the minimal, I say let's go ahead and get that thing paid off, get the monkey off our back, save the interest rate, so we can utilize for the citizens press. Does anybody have any questions about that? Huh? This is the land that we use, that we our sewer gets pushed out. We pump from the sewer out to this field, and then we rent that field out, so we have a lease on that field, so we make money on that field. Instead of, and our bank has done great for us. We greatly appreciate them. They're paying a very nice interest rate to our CD. When I went around and I was pricing that, they were very, very aggressive because they wanted to help the community. So I greatly appreciate that. But at this point, we make some more money, put another CD, let's loan it to the bank instead of the bank loaning us some money.
So we finish paying off this land, and we rent it out
Yes,
to a person that's unable.
correct. We lease it out, so that way the money stays in the house, and we're done with this. It's paid for. Yeah, we're not, he's maintaining he's maintaining the land. Now, we keep the pumping going on over there, which benefits us. We need to send it somewhere. So, yes. And we've been pumping for a while, so great things are happening. Yeah. How long have we had that land? You were in city council. So 2015, 16, 17, somewhere around there? It was way before that even?
So we paid up.
It was farming that water on it.
Well, I don't know how long we've had the loan though. That's a good question. I don't know how long we've had the loan, or if they redid it. I mean, they could have redone it too.
So we've been paying a lot of money on that land already.
Well, I don't want to assume that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to assume that, because we have a sewer truck, which you're not supposed to borrow money on something unless you pay it off that year. But we had a sewer truck that they did refinance, so they could have refinanced that land and set up sewer. I don't know. I'll try to get that answer. I'll get that answer.
Well, I'll make a motion.
All right, I got a motion to pay it off.
I say.
And do I have a second? All right. All in favor to pay that off? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Alrighty. Fantastic. All right, then. The next thing we have is so that means we will pay that off with this year's funds. Okay, so we won't have that in our budget for next year. The other thing that piece of equipment I was talking about, that sewer machine, we'll talk about it in the budget a little bit, but that piece of equipment that we refinanced will also getting paid off October 1. We'll talk about a little more about that in a second. Okay, the next thing I'm really excited about, consider approved service agreement for iWork. Tracy and I talked to several. We were blue in the face. We thought we just about decided on one. All of a sudden, this one popped up. And then we decided to see if they could do a couple more things for us. And then we had, I don't know, 2 or 3 meetings with them. And they can do everything we need to do. And let me tell you what we need to do. One of the things we need to be able to track easier, when we write a citation, for whatever reason that is, that it can go from point A to point B to our judge, to our attorney, much smoother than getting it written down, waiting for something to be turned in, waiting for that other person to do what they need to do, and then next thing you know, it's just taking too much. So, with that said, it's going to be able to run all of our citations through this. We're going to be able to do a citation right there with an iPad, or not an iPad specifically, because that's an Apple product, but with a tablet. Everything's going to be able to push through. It's going to be very quick, very easy. We'll be able to photograph whatever we need to photograph, enter it in the file, and move forward. We're going to be able to do all of our pet registrations, all of our documentation for rabies. All that's going to be able to be put in this program. So when we need to figure out something or pull something up, all of it's in one place. Another great attribute this thing has is when we need to do a workflow of either maintenance for the city, figuring out, okay, we're going to start over here, we're going to work on this street, we're going to put this street on a workflow chart. That way, as they finish it, they're going to be able to go in and say, okay, we're finished with this street, then we can move to this street, and we're going to be able to create a record of what is getting accomplished. We're going to be able to map the entire city out. Now, I started out with diamond maps. We started doing diamond maps because that was the cheapest and the best out at the time. But with this, everything's going to be, again, on one platform. We're going to be able to map out all of our meters. We're going to be able to map out all of our wells, everything. So when this is turned over to the next administration, they're going to have something much better than we have. They will not be in the blind of where is it located, what size of line does that meter have, what size of meter does that have. They're going to be able to move, and it's going to set up the city of Kress for success many, many, many years ago. And we got it negotiated down to about what the other program was going to do, and they were just going to be able to do municipal courts. This is going to help us keep track of if we do a ticket and we need to send money to the state, or we don't need to send money, where's that money going? It's going to help us reflect that much quicker and faster. Most of the ordinances don't really require that, but some of the other ones, that if we have to do lawyers or stuff like that, will help track that.
You saved on it.
Hmm?
You saved.
I did. Yeah, because originally they were, what was it, 15,000. Yeah, I got it down because if you do one or this one or this one or this one, you pay a lot more. I got them down from 15,000 to $6,000. So now I will say this. I told myself I wasn't, but I'm going to say it anyways. It is a possibility that this can replace our other company we have sending out letters. Now, I will also say this. The reason why I like using that other company, they don't know the Smiths, they don't know the Joneses, they don't know nobody. So, when they do come out, I always like them doing the first inspection of the year. Again, they don't know the Smiths, they don't know the Joneses, they don't know anybody. They come out, they do the first inspection, they send out those letters, they send out communication. So the people call them, they're very nice group of ladies, and I think there's a gentleman that does the inspection. They'll take the very polite call and treat them with lots of respect, and I've given them the leniency. If somebody calls in and they treat you with respect, give them extra time. We don't want to collect money off of fees. We don't want to collect money off of fines. All we're asking to do is everybody to do the right thing and do their part. What we're asking. Instead of continue to fight it or figure out something, just clean up your backyard, clean up your front yard, do what you're supposed to do. It's real simple. That's all we're asking for. So that is the other side of that. Now, and the other part is the condemnation. When they're working those, which is a lot of paperwork to do, they keep us legally in line of what you got to do before we go in and tear down a house. Or they also work the junk cars ordinance, which, come to find out, we've had a junk car ordinance for many years. I bet some of the older people in here remembers the junk car ordinance from what did we decide it was?
Back in the 90s.
93? Yeah. So we've had a junk car ordinance for a long time. Now we're gonna look at it. We're gonna see does it need adjusted a little bit. But some great minds back there. And I believe that was Mayor Frosto that signed that. So good history right there. So, but anyways, we'll relook at that and see if we need to tighten it up, loosen it up, or at least get it up to date. Yeah, Joe Frosto. Yeah, lived across the street. Yep. I had that conversation with somebody else. But, anyways, but get back on the iWork. This is something that's really going to be able to set up Kress for success in the future.
I'll make the motion.
All right, I got a motion from Linda. Do I have a second? I got a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All righty, another unanimous vote. Fantastic. All righty, the next thing we have is approving our budget. Now, this is where it gets a little more. Alrighty. Lots of numbers. So, we add all the income that we have coming in. We have we add all the expenses that we have. Then we get to guesstimate of what it'll be next year. Okay. Now, I do want to say we had a $72,838,000, roughly $72,000 surplus from last year from the budget that we created. That is another reason why our bank account looks so well. We were responsible in spending. We made a lot of upgrades. We continue to make upgrades. We'll continue to replace some culverts that we need on Skipworth, back of Skipworth, and then on Dudley Street. We'll continue working on those. But we got a lot of stuff. One of the big things, and I'll give Tracy the credit on this one. One of the big things that's on Tracy's list this year is to get a sidewalk in front of City Hall that is much more safe for our community. Now, I'm still working on, I don't know, I must beg David if he's got these other plans done, see if he can beg just a little more help. Because we got to get an engineer that's willing to draw up some plans to do it. Yeah, I know you are. So, but, and most engineers don't want to take on a little bitty job like that. So that's been a little bit of a daunting task, because we don't want to spend $30,000 for a set of plans that cost us $10,000 off the phone. So we've been trying to be responsible on that, but we're going to get it done this year. We will get it done this year. It's done. How many times have I told y'all something's going to be done and it didn't get done? It's done. Nope. I have a physical year, ma'am. Starts October 1. Year and a half, right? So, so all those numbers are in there, which we had a work session, so if anybody has a question about any of them, still we talk about it. I do want to mention that we did have some payoffs last year with some bright points. John Deere got paid off last year. Our backhoe got paid off last year. We just paid off the land, and then this year we'll pay off our sewer truck, which is like we still owe like $7,000. So instead of making payments on that monthly, we're just going to cut a check October 1. It'll be in that budget. So we're going to cut a check October 1. That will save us taxes of stretching that thing out. Man, if you've got plenty of bank to pay for it. So we'll be in the budget, the annual budget, but we're going to go ahead and pay that off on October 1. Be done. Now, certified appraisals. We are set to receive roughly $95,192 according to our certified totals that we got. And then you basically, I understand the number is 95%, multiply it times 95%. That way you're going to have a few that just don't pop up or don't pay or slow pay. That'll give you a good idea what to use for your budget. So I used $90,432 for our budget for what we're getting in taxes. Our meter sales, we're looking at roughly about $155,000. Our sewer, roughly $68,000. Now, reconnect fees. We did not have any reconnect fees last year. We didn't have any late fees last year either. But I will say, as soon as our water, and we're what 95%, Tracy, on water meters, we are so close to having that done. We've been having to move some more meters around and get them up and going. We still got a handful of them left, but once we have those 100%, we will send out a communication that late fees and reconnect fees will start being charged after that time. We have given everybody the benefit of the doubt, but now with the new technology, there's no reason why you're not getting a bill now right after the month closes. Everybody can see their water bill online through a portal. You can see usage up to an hour. Okay, you can see everything you want. Now, there's been some people that's just, well, I'm not going to pull up the portal. Well, that's your decision. We're not going to force anybody to do anything. We're just going to give you the sources and the opportunity to be able to be as transparent so you know what's going on. Now, that portal will also, is a tool for you. If you decide to go on vacation, you can log in that portal and say, hey, send me a text if usage is coming out of that place by so many gallons. And it'll text you. Say, hey, you got a problem. Now, the city does the best they can. We went out and told people, hey, you're showing a high usage, you're gonna have a high water bill. You might need to figure out where your leak is. So we do our best to help you with that, but at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to know what your usage is. Okay? We're giving you the tools to be able to do that easier. One place I went to, and I told them, hey, it looks like you're using a whole lot. I mean, you know what's going on? So yeah, I had a faucet in the back of my sink that just kept running, but we think we got to fix that. They knew they had the problem, which we couldn't figure it out because it didn't show it leaking anywhere, but it was going out their sink and just a total waste of water. But they definitely knew what was going on, so at least they knew, and they got a reminder that they could have a big bill. Does anybody have any questions on this budget? Now, I do want to remind everybody, we're still finishing up. We do got to get a second generator. It'll be a small generator. I do believe we're going to come in under budget on it, but we do still got to get a small generator. But we still have some money left from the original of getting the big generator. So we still have money that's approved in last budget, and it will run over to getting that project done. Any questions?
The animal control went up to 5,000.
Yes.
Is that for?
Yeah. That's going to be for food and anything that the dogs need. Now, I will tell you this. Street Dogs has taken care of that burden for the whole community. But at some point, if we need food for a city-owned dog, that's where that will come in at. In anything that we pick up, we are also liable for that dog's welfare when we have it in our care. So if we have to do any kind of maintenance or anything for that dog that's been picked up, that will be ran through the system and calculated, that's where those funds will come. Tracy, great question. Dogs that we picked up, how many have we found homes for so far? And we decided to leave Champ, the name for Champ, because that dog has went from just thank God he's alive to we'll let you pet him a little bit. It's came a long ways. It's came a long ways. Tracy has done a really good job with Champ out her place. About how many dogs have we found homes for so far? Except for Champ, I'm sure. Champ? Except for the 3. Yeah. Yeah, that's one. Yeah. In Colorado. So, how many have we put down, Tracy? How many? 0. Really proud of that because the owner said we're going to do is pick them up and put them down. That ain't what we do.
Are we still having a problem with people dropping off dogs?
I think it's happening, but I don't think it's happening as much. Because the ones we picked up lately, we know who they belong to. So we know who. Lately, we've known who the dogs come from. And one dog we went to pick up seemed very aggressive. Well, they're only aggressive until the owner came walking out, and then the gentleman says, "Yeah, the owner is inside, but they don't want the dog on." Well, the owner came out. The dog, soon as that owner came out, it was a female. That dog, bam, totally different. Was nice, no problem, no issues, and she didn't want it no more. So we took care of some paperwork on that. Anybody in this room can walk up to that dog right now. That dog is wagging his tail, loving the earth. Play with the littlest dog out there, and he looks like the biggest, meanest dog that walks the earth. And he was covered in ticks. He was covered in fleas. It was a horrible situation. You let him out of his kennel, he'll come out, he'll play, tell him kennel, he'll jump right back to his kennel, just loves life. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, right now we have an ordinance 5 animals. So 5 animals, then they all got to be they've all got to be registered with the city. Um, we register it because people get amnesia when we find them. That has not been enforced so much, but with this new software, it's gonna be much easier to get enforced. And all we're asking is be a good neighbor, because I'll be honest with you, if I pick it up, or if Tracy picks it up, and we know where it goes, or if we can scan it, we're basically gonna call you and say, hey, especially if it's your first time, and if you've really, really, really tried and you're doing your best, probably your second time, you're not going to get a citation. But if Amber has to go out, that we're paying for, has to take care of it, you're going to get a citation. Okay? Or if we have no idea who the dog is, we have to go put it up because it ain't registered, it ain't microchipped. We have an ordinance, every animal's got to be microchipped. You're getting a citation, typically. Now, I leave that totally up to Amber. I had one young lady called and said, hey, did y'all pick up a dog? I said, we're going to find out. So we did have their dog. They said, well, I'm going to have to pay to get it back. I said, you need to talk to Amber. I don't tell her how to handle her business. I don't tell her what she needs to do, but I do support her decision. But if you cannot afford to feed a dog, keep a dog in a closed housing, or even, we have a grant going on right now that Street Dogs is paying for anybody that needs a spade or neutering, up to 2 per household, and all you pay is a $20 copay. If you can't afford a $20 copay, I promise you that dog needs to get replaced with somebody else. If the only thing's keeping you from doing it is because it costs $20, then you can't afford a dog. Let's be honest with you. So, I get really passionate about that. I mean, I've had my dog in the. So, help me out here. Let's go. Anyway, let's. Any questions about the budget? Okay. What's your question on the budget? Yep. Not your budget, right? The city budget. Well, actually, no. You can't talk about this because we had a. Can't take it. So we can when it comes to fire.
This, you have fire department presentation on the agenda. Yeah, you can. Fire department, is it not on the agenda? Fire department presentation.
We also had a budget.
I don't waste your time.
Okay, does that have to do with the fire department?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's do this. Let's do this. Hold on. Let's do this then. Let's do the fire department's budget first, then we'll do the city budget.
Okay. You got that in your own folder. Don't get it out of my folder. You're stealing that out of my folder. And I'll tell you something, since we're talking about going ahead and paying that, those loans off, I
Yes.
did check today. The fire department, when I took over, had 3 loans. And we've got it down to 1 loan. I talked to John today. We have 1 loan left at 11,000. And that, I don't know, put that on your agenda. That would be nice if y'all would, and you'll see where I'm headed, with that 11,000 if we got rid of that. I told y'all that we had 220,000 is about what we're gonna have in our account when the building goes up. But I wanna concur with Johnny. I've been talking to our county judge, Michael Clausen, and he's been wonderful to come up. I go up there and talk to him, and he listens. And I will show you this one real quick first. This is what I talked to him about. And I told him, and I want to make it perfectly clear, that I don't want to take any money away from Tulia or Happy Fire Department. But this document just shows what the county gives. And with the city of Tulia helping give 130,000. County was giving them 40,000, where they were giving us 15,000. And so when I went up and asked for a grant for our new building fund, and we did get that. We got the $10,000 grant. And so I talked to him again, and they're going to give us 20,000 for the new building this year. So that'll put us at 220,000.
It isn't
And
for the
probably-
building, it's for the fire department.
This is fire department, yeah. And so this will probably, time we finish our raffle, about $225,000 is about where we'll be. And so I want to now go to this other page. The county did jump that up to 18,000 this year, by the way, and give us the 20,000 grant. We already touched on that first paragraph. I won't go back into that. Just talked about the county giving us a $20,000 grant. And we talked about the building on the third paragraph. Now, that's an estimate at 270,000. I think we should be prepared for 300,000. That's just the way it depends on the price of concrete, price of steel, all that goes up. And we do have these people that are donating equipment to us, and it will be a good place for meetings and gatherings. What we do I want to make sure that y'all understand that when we do move out of this building, we want to keep the south bay. This truck we're working on, that Spartan, we're going to pull it in there so we can finish building that truck, because the new station will only hold 6 trucks. And we got 7. And so I think that South Bay, I remember buying that building for the Kress Fire Department a long time ago. But anyway, so we want to keep that, and then the city can have the North Bay. But here's what I really wanted to visit with you guys about as far as budgets go. So we're going to have about 225,000. We're going to be short somewhere around that 50,000, depending on what that number is. The 270, it could be light. I really don't know. So what was y'all's thoughts of, we get these tanks pulled and they say, okay, y'all are good to go. Start building your building. Well, we're $50,000 short at 225. And so I know you can get a loan through the FDCIA or something like that, gives the loan. But John has been really nice to us, and I'm sure he would probably give us the loan. And I would if y'all have some surplus in your budget somewhere to give us a bump above that 225. I'm not going to throw a number out there, but if you have some money to where you could put us closer to that 270, 275. But that's why I want to talk to you about the budget. If you have some surplus, to be able to help us with that. Do y'all have any suggestions on anything else to get that when the tanks are pulled, so we can pull the trigger to get started building?
So assuming you gave us these figures to figure out what Tulia gives their fire department versus what the average.
Yeah, and here's what I wanted to show you. And the judge told me this 40,000 is what the Tulia Fire gets 40,000 from the county, and Happy and Kress get 15. And when I went and asked for that grant, they said, well, we've got to be fair, and we got to give all 3 of departments $10,000. And so when I found out Tulia was getting 40, I'm going, well, where is the fair? Where's the fair at? Because plus they get 130 from them. So here's what the judge told me. He said, David, we can't catch you up in 1 year. He said, what we'll do is we'll start bumping it up, try to get you guys on an equal play. I told him, I said, if Tulia buys a fire truck at $250,000 and we go to look for a truck, we're not going to get a discount on a truck. Still 200. So what I'm saying is, Tulia, Happy, and Kress, the money is the expense of buying trucks. It's the same, so why are we getting less? So they did up that to 18 this year. And that their budget's already been approved. So we got that, and we did get the grant. So it'll help slightly, but this last year on our budget, I think y'all gave us a budget of $10,000. And the one fire engine was $10,000 to get it out of the shop. And we've had all the trucks in the shop up until the fire we had this afternoon. We had them all running good, but that's just running a pot out there in fires. We'll figure out what that little pump is on that truck. But at $10,000, guys, I just can't do much.
$14,000.
14,000? At 14,000 to run a fire department, how can I do that?
Well, let me,
But anyway, back to the building. I want y'all to start thinking about how you could maybe give us a lump sum or something, so when those tanks are full, so we're ready.
Hey, David, I want to cut you short, but
Okay.
we've got a lot of business
I
to
know,
move to.
but it's just real. The fire department is very important.
Very
to us.
important. I will say though, if you look at percentage wise, we're above Tulia what we're giving you out of what we got coming in. So we're giving you more than fair share versus percentage wise what we have coming in versus what the county's doing. County has been great to help
The
us
judge
out.
has
I
been-
mean,
he's been-
greatly appreciated.
He's been
And I will
nice.
say, there's no way if I was sitting in Judge's shoes, I say I could give Kress $40,000. I give Tulia $40,000 because Tulia has a lot more everything to maintain than Kress does.
But
We need to get there, but we'll never be and never need what Tulia needs ever. Because Tulia is the main hat that carries most of the county.
well, we just had a fire a while ago, and we were the first trucks out there putting the fire out. And what it just goes back though, Johnny, we can't buy a fire truck cheaper than Tulia, and I get it.
So hopefully
But-
we can maintain a great relationship. So they do have one that's great for us because we don't need it there as much as they do. Maybe we can purchase them off a very huge discount, like keeping our great relationship going.
I have a great relationship. In fact,
know,
he was
that's what I'm
very complimentary when I took this document up there, and he's willing to help. He's willing to get there. But you know, I can't operate. How do I operate an entire fire department on that kind of money?
Has the fire department ever seen this kind of funds before in the history of
Have they
Kress?
what?
Has Kress Fire Department ever seen these type of funds they're getting now in the history of Kress?
That and that lies the problem. They haven't. And that's what I told the judge up there. I told him, I said, look, I said, this has gone on for a long time. We've been slighted for a lot of years, and we got a lot of catch up to do. But anyway, y'all think about how y'all can help us with a lump sum maybe, and what y'all think about. I think probably John is where we would go to borrow money to get us to that point where we can start. Do you have any questions about that? Or any ideas? No? Thank you all.
So, David, go ahead and knock out your budget. Go ahead and knock out your budget. See it? I got it written for you. I got you, bro. Okay. Okay. So,
Look at your Kress Fire front page.
fantastic. Love to see the money.
And I'm telling you, we got $50,000 for the solar farm. That's a lot of money.
I got a council lady here that's got 145. I got one we got.
That's a lot of work.
All right, so income for last year for the proposed for next year will be $34,700. Now we'll encourage. There's a big thing on here that recovery costs we took in right at $3,100 last year. I want to encourage those reports to continue to be written to continue to make that money. That's your difference that you're looking for. I know Tulia, they receive a lot of money from cost recovery. I want to continue to push and figure out how to do that. So Tracy and I have written several reports on getting that money. I just want to make sure we're getting every dollar we continue to get in these reports. Because that's going to be the money difference, what you're looking for. A big one, I think. So 34,700 is what we're expecting. Now, on the CD that we put in there for 95,000, we are expecting to earn $3,562. That was free money. That was a great interest rate we got from John on that. So looks like we did a expense budget of a surplus of $8,800. Last year we ended up with a surplus of 7,100, basically rounded up. So we did spend less than what we budgeted for. So that was great. Continue to add it to the pot so we can do some things over at the fire department. Anybody have any questions on the fire department budget? Alrighty. Do I have a motion to approve the fire department budget?
Make the motion.
Okay, all in favor, aye. Do I have a second? Got a second? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Fantastic. Another thing about a budget is it gives David the leniency of to go take care of stuff without having to come back to the city council every single time to get something approved. Alrighty. So, does anybody have any questions on the rest of the city budget? Looks like we do have a balanced budget as of right now. Okay, if I don't have any questions, do I have a motion to approve the budget as written? Okay, Dane, I got a second by Glenda. Okay, all in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay? Okay. Okay, so that will solidify ordinance 20250923D, approving the city budget, adopted, approved, as written. And we got some signing to do, sir. Alrighty. Moving forward off that. Next thing we got is to consider and approve updated fines and fine ordinances. Okay, so what this did was, so our judge needed us to come up with, so if somebody pleads guilty, what's the fine? I want to pay for it. We've got to have something that we can go off of that is fair. It's a guideline. I'll tell you this, it's a guideline. Amber has a lot of leniency on, depending on how somebody handles her, talks to her, and treats her, if she's going to be more lenient than not. Because I have some fines starting at $0 to $25. All we're trying to do at $0 to $25 is get somebody's attention. That's it. Just need to get somebody's attention just so they know they're going to be held accountable. We do not, and again, repeat, do not want to make money off of fines and fees from our community. All we're asking for is people to be a good neighbor. We did remove the wording of being able to surrender your animal. That needs to be something with the owner. They need to figure that out. So we did remove the ability to just pay $75 to get rid of your animal. We felt some people was taking advantage of that, and then the burden became the cities. We really didn't think if somebody had to pay $75, they'd actually do that. But we were shocked at how many that did. We do have parking ordinances. Therefore, we do have parking violation citation fees. That we have, that way we can have a structure. All these ordinances will be posted online by TJ as soon as they're approved. Anybody have any questions? Change that. Okay, anybody have any questions? Oh, I want John to have extra notes. Time. All right, if I can get a motion to approve the new fine ordinance 2025-09-23B. Okay. What page? What page?
Amber is taking care of citation for the animal stuff, but the parking.
Yes, Randy will be able to help us with that, and Randy will be helping Amber too with some dog stuff.
But, okay, Randy will help with the parking.
Parking, and then some dog stuff when Amber is not in town. But Amber is our animal control officer, so she carries a license to handle that program. That's not.
That page. I don't really have a question about page 7. I just wasn't sure who was gonna
Yeah, any
enforce it.
any official.
So even the county people would go by our schedule.
County can't do that. County won't do that. It's a city ordinance, so they won't do that.
Okay, so with the ordinance cover the parking stuff will be
Yes, so
set
we'll-
up to the school.
right. That's an ordinance that we've always had for parking. Then we just changed that. All this is sets up the citation side to be able to have a very transparent, how is somebody going to be treated? Everybody going to be treated fairly and equally. And this is what happened from this to this could possibly take place if you do whatever. And it'll go, and the citation will go to the registered owner of the vehicle. So whoever the registered owner of the vehicle, they put that plate on there, and who will get the citation. Okay, I got a motion by Sarah to approve ordinance number 2025-0923B for the new fee schedule. Do I have a second? I got a second by Kelly. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay? All right, the ayes have it. Unanimous vote. Okay. We're knocking it out, guys. We're knocking it out. Okay, so next thing is resolution to have a city paper for notification, adopt official newspaper for 25-26. Looks like we only have one to choose from, but I think it's a great choice. Anybody have a question about that? Can I get a motion to approve Switzer County News as our newspaper of general circulation for the city of Kress? Got a motion by Kelly. Do I have a second? Got a second? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay? Fantastic. All right. Next thing we got is a calendar for holiday calendar. And a payday calendar. So if some of the holidays fall on a Friday, that payday was moved up a day or whatever, or sometimes 2 days, depending on when the holiday fell on.
Yes.
I took it last year as a regular calendar form, but I thought this year would be easier to kind of put it all as information, easier to see. Any questions? Alrighty. If anybody don't have any questions, do I have a motion to approve the October 1 through September 30, 2026 holiday calendar for full-time employees? Linda motions. Do I have a second? Dane seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? All right, the ayes have it. Okay. Real quick, I do want to talk about a couple of laws that has changed recently that we will be going by. So one of the biggest laws that changed is the agenda. So the agenda is to be posted now a real 72 hours. Holidays and weekends do not count. The day you post it don't count, and the day you have the meeting do not count. Okay, so basically, you're putting yourself almost out there 7 days. Start adding all that up, and I think that's great legislation that came out of Austin. They're wanting to push transparency further along, so that's a good thing. So that's one of the reasons why our agenda was posted a little bit different this time. The reason why we had to put it up 1 week is we were going to be a day off after I learned that. My great friend and some of my great contacts that I came across helped me learn that and understand that. The next, again, we've already talked about no new revenue. So other than that, that's all I got.
Next meeting.
Will be, I think I have it down here, should be the 21st. Oh yeah, that might be something to change. Yeah. Girl? Yeah, look, girl, so do I. My daughter lives in South Carolina, so she's gonna have a grandbaby too. I think like a week we can have her work. So that's exciting. So that you're right, that could change. Guys, we do have the junk car ordinance posted. encourage you to go read it. If you need a physical copy, let us know. We will be changing our emails. Everybody will get which some of y'all have it, I'm sure everyone y'all use it. But we're gonna start moving to as much as possible, emailing you guys the packets so you can electronically so you can start delivering. But when we do that, you've got to set your emails up in a timely manner because the expiring we got to redo. If you need help, let us know. But hell, even our business at work is going to the same 365 because Microsoft finds a way to make it a lot more security. So we'll stay 365, but we have a cheaper version because I applied for a grant. Not really a grant. Prove you're an entity, you get it cheaper. So we're going to be going that route. Okay. So we don't have anything else.
I would like to maybe put on next month.
Okay.
Is to better understand what our role, what the fire department is, budget wise.
Vehicles definitely needs to be addressed. We talked about it several times. So vehicles definitely needs to be addressed. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a work session. Oh, I think it needs to be an in-depth conversation. Conversation. What are we doing? What's our vision? How are we going to get there? And how are we going to utilize our other communities around us to help us get to what we need to get to? So yeah, I think that's a good idea. Anybody else? Anything else? Yeah, so they're going to create you one, and then when they create you one, you'll get instructions on what you need to do to set it. That's good. I'll let you. So they might send it to, they may text it to you, and then it'll take you to somewhere to do that, or it might just do it in the city. It really isn't hard to do. It's you're the first one that figured it out when we did it the first time. I know. We slept a few times since then. I get you. It really isn't hard to do. It just needs to happen.
So whenever you don't go on, you get to the guy.
I think so.
I had gone into mine for a month, actually.
It's much more efficient. Okay. Anything else? Sorry? Yeah. Anything else? All right. Other than that, can I get a motion to adjourn? Got a motion? Do I have a second? I got a second. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay? All right. Let's go.